Grand Rising. I was all like, hey, you should go in your room because I'm trying to make this video and I heard you in the background and I know that you can hear him in the background now. Okay, so I was like, I'm gonna take a break, and I am taking a break, I guess, because I mean it's been like what 3-4 days since my last video. But my brain never stops working. Nobody's brain ever stops working. If that happened, then well, you'd just be a veggie. And even when you're in vegetable state, you're still thinking. I think there might be some shit to back that up. Excuse me. This is my favorite tube top. It looks like I'm not wearing a shirt, but I am. Just so you know. Okay, so here's today's topics. I have 2 of them. The first one is the worst advice to women in dating ever given is if that man has not contacted you in X amount of time, he's not interested in you. This is not true. This is not true. And ladies, save yourself some troubles. This is inspired by 2 things, okay? Thick Threads, which is Patrick Cloud and Persephone, beautiful people. Okay, I've mentioned Patrick a lot lately, but that's just because he's like one of my primaries in the subscription list. Okay, I don't really actually subscribe to a lot of people, so he's up there in the upper echelon of Ashley's subscriptions. Okay, so Thick Threads had a advice men give to either women or men. I don't remember. Okay, but I enjoyed the podcast. And something was brought up, and then I was on TikTok, and a woman was giving advice and said, if that man does not contact you, he doesn't care about you. That's not true. Okay, the book reference for this is men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Okay, and in fact, it wasn't that. It was the Mr. Fix-It hat. When women vent, they do not want a solution. They just want to vent. Okay, I can find this. That was the Thick Threads comment, but it brought me back to the same book. Okay, so in Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, there's 2 things that men and women need to understand about each other this year. Okay, 1, the argument between men and women, when a woman vents and she gets upset with you because you just keep providing solutions, that is because you are designed to make solutions. And that's how men communicate with each other. They provide. When they speak, they are looking for a solution. Okay? They are having trouble finding that solution themselves. So they speak to others in order to brainstorm. All right? Women don't function that way. We talk all the time. We like to talk. Okay? So when we go to you and we have problems, we're just talking. We do not want you to tell me, well, maybe you should just work out. I don't want to talk about working out. I just want to tell you that I don't like feeling fat today, but I don't need any solutions because I know what the solution is. I just want to get it off my chest. Okay. And I can pinpoint situations with certain individuals in my dating life in which they felt frustrated with me and an argument ensued after I'm just telling them about my problems, and they continue to. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want you to keep giving me suggestions. That's not what I'm here to do. We find our own solutions by speaking. So on the flip side, when a man retreats and you do not hear from him for hours, days, weeks, months, sometimes that does not always indicate that he is not interested in you. Sometimes that indicates that he has a major problem and he is working that out on his own. Now, there's going to be obvious red flags to those 2 things, okay? Like, if homegirl has a problem every single day and she's talking to you about her problems every single fucking day and does not want any solutions, she might be a narcissist, all right? If this man, you can see leading up to before his silence, there are certain red flags that you see. Okay, that would be an indication that that person is in fact probably narcissistic or displaying narcissistic traits. I'm not going to use the word narcissistic too broad like that. You could just have tendencies, right? or maybe not mature. We'll use the term not mature enough yet to be in a companionship. All right. But ultimately, men retreat when they are thinking. Okay. Oh, he closed his door all by himself. He's so smart. But anyway, um, so for both genders, if you allow this person to do this without, okay, so men, your girlfriend comes to you, and for me, I do this all the time around my cycle. Like when I get around my cycle, I remember I've told you before, because especially because it's aligned with the moon, I wane, right? So if you allow this woman to wane, okay, in the book it's called a wave and a well, okay, her emotions rise and then they fall down into a well, is how he describes it, right? If you allow this without providing any feedback, you're just like, I hear you and your feelings are valid. Like if that's just how you responded to this, after a few months, she'll do it less. Same with men. You let men. I think that theirs was the comparison to like a rubber band being pulled farther and then retreating into a cave or something like that. You let that man do that, okay? Where were you? I didn't hear from you. You don't even want to do that. Just they'll come back like nothing fucking happened. You let them do that a couple times, they will feel secure and they won't do that. They'll actually talk to you about their problems when a problem arises. This is the golden advice for the year. Okay, so that's the first. That is the first thing that I had come to mind, only because I was brought back to that book twice. Okay, not every person that retreats from you and does not contact you for an extended amount of time. There was one time I read something on Quora where like the girl was just freaking out. Her boyfriend stopped talking to her for like 2 months. He told her he needed space. But he didn't like give her an amount of time, and he came back and proposed to her. He had to think about it. He was busy. You know what I'm saying? Like he was busy thinking and raising the money and doing all these things. There's so many things that go into life, daily life, especially for men. Okay, don't cut him off because he didn't talk to you for 4 hours in a day. Why does my fucking pit fat look so fat today? Anyway, don't do it. Trust me. Just trust me. I know I'm single. You don't want single person's advice. You want the married person's advice. But I bet you there is a married person out there that will tell you this. All right? And now they're best of friends and they talk all the fucking time and he never stops talking. Okay? And that can even be, you can back that up with the 5 love languages, because some men were raised in a where they never talk. Right? They are thinking men. They're the man doing like this, right? Read those 2 books. It will tell you how to deal with somebody like that, because that's commonly what it is that makes them retreat into their cave and stuff like that. It's they observed men who did not have healthy communication skills, and therefore they retreated when they had a problem. All right, but if you show that you're comfortable with that, a lot of the times it will resolve itself, because they'll see that you're not like stressing them out. And then sometimes that comes with, both of you being in that state at the same time. You need to talk and he needs to retreat, right? The best thing for men and women to do is start your conversation with, I just need to vent. I don't want any solutions. I just need to vent. I'm feeling kind of heavy, right? Then for men, I need to think. I will be back in X amount of days, if you know how long you need to think, right? So those are the suggestions that I would give to you guys for that. And then the next one was, oh geez, I can't even remember the meme, but I do. So my sapiosexual video, I had mentioned, my debate skills, and I actually ended up in a debate for the last, I don't know, it's been several days. Okay, it's been several days. Debating with this guy, and it was kind of funny because I just said that I've been able to get my rebuttals down, right? So I don't even know if maybe they were just continuing to rebuttal because they saw my video, or they truly just were so convicted that they continued to go back and forth with me. Now I've finally gotten it to a point where it's like unrefutable, undeniable, and sometimes it takes that, because when you're going back and forth with someone, um, sometimes you're so set on a certain goal that you miss some major things that you could have ended it sooner, right? So the debate is, he says, I'm not gonna ignore obvious red flags. And yeah, not all flags are obvious. It's covert, it's subtle, right? And as we're going back and forth, I realized the entire time he's been saying obvious and I've been saying covert. Those are two different things. And that is how you're able to, like, end the debate. Like, yo, wait, whoa, 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 we're talking about two different things, right? But what's important is, I feel like, and during this time, I actually seen multiple times the sentiment that never argue with fools, people won't know the difference, right? It's kind of like the same sentiment that I have about hanging out with snakes, okay? But in this day and age, there's two things that I feel like that does, okay? That meme, never hang with fools, or never argue with fools because people won't know the difference. I could tell that this individual was very intelligent. A lot of the people that I debate, there's very few fools that I debate with. Oh, hi, beautiful. Oh my gosh. There's very few fools that I debate with, okay? Everyone is very intelligent. But when it comes to, I don't know if you can see the cardinal there. When it comes to covert emotional incest, and the brainwashing and the programming, these people aren't fools. They're simply uneducated. So I feel like that sentiment of never argue with fools, people don't know the difference, mantra is to control, because you're worried about what people think about you, and ignore, like, really getting down to the bottom of differences, right? And I don't argue with anybody. I mean, I do. It becomes an argument if I get triggered, or I call somebody a name. That's when I consider it an argument. Because for this guy, it was just literally debating about knowing the rules and the play the game, and the game is the Matrix. And you think that it's so easy to know those rules when there's a whole set of covert and subtle rules, right? So I want to encourage people not to shy away from healthy debate, because I feel like that's one of those things where people are like, I'm not responding to that, I'm not doing that, we agree to disagree. And, like, you let that person go and they can be won over. They're just stubborn, and they're not fools. They're very intelligent, and they're just lacking a little bit. Just have a little more patience. Don't worry about what people think of you, because that's where the change comes. That's where you facilitate change. Like, your ability to display patience with an individual in order to get them the right information, because some of these people are, when they get that information in their hands, they're going to be very powerful individuals. And sometimes I feel like the brainwashing is so thick for some of those people. It's like really thick, because you don't want them to get the right information at all. You don't want that. You don't want an intelligent, like a truly intelligent person, because the construct still, its intention is to dumb people down, right? And to keep them at a certain level. So if you come across somebody that's really intelligent, like, you can tell they're intelligent, you can tell their brain function is really high up there, they get that information, they're going to take off. So I'm excited for this person, but I just wanted to mention that, like, I don't argue with fools at all. I don't disagree with fools at all. I disagree with a lot of intelligent people that are brainwashed, and that's a completely different thing. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Yep. Want to say, in terms of my children, I feel like some of his dream has been realized and actualized, but you know, some of his last transcripts that I've heard seems to me like he might have been a little what's the word? Repentant. You know. We only know half the story, so oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just be, do you see that there? Is that 444? So I just had a cardinal and 444 show up. Y'all have a wonderful day.